So the other day, my man, Johnny Johnston, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't say his name because of the topic of this shit. Hey, remind me to edit that out. So the other day, a subscriber sent me a message, a request to address, to talk about, or talk to, I don't really know. Either way, today we're going to conversate about the trepidation, the hesitation, the unwillingness of some spouses to allow our weapons into the houses. Now, normally I would let this slide because I'm not really in the business of arguing with other guys' wives. But then I had another guy, Mr. Keepers of Chaos himself, Mr. Big Russ Hamilton, request my input on this topic in a post, curious of my approach. So here goes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, as a guy who's been happily married for over 2 decades, I'm going to offer you officers some free advice. Advice that was passed down to me from a multitude of married men. It's like this. Happy wife, happy life. Right. So most differences, most discussions lead to me conceding. I saw her point and concurred with her decisions. But not this. This is different. This is a big one. That's what she said. This decision could be the difference between life and, well, the opposite of life, which is bad. Okay, look, the only way to successfully convey your concerns, to counter the commitment, the insistence on leaving your weapons, your gear in the garage, is through knowledge, conversation, and a little education. You have to let them know that keeping your weapons outside in the carport is a poor choice. And you have to do it in an understanding and empathetic manner, which is something that correctional officers are known for. Look, do it however you want, but if you're an ass about it, you might be sleeping in the garage next to your gear. So here we go. Start by educating your significant other on the importance of fortifying your home, your castle, and that your want to store your firearms safely inside your residence is for their benefit. Maybe share with them that according to the FBI, a burglary happens in the United States every 30 seconds. Something like 1 in 36 homes are broken into depending on their geographical location. So sure, the odds seem relatively low for the average Joe. But, aha! A CO is not an average Joe. Because where you go, the people that you know and the people that know you encounter you throughout your shift puts you at a higher risk to be a target, a mark. I'm going to forego the stats on this one, but they need to know that because of your profession, because you work inside, simply because you wear the badge, people, the population, the convicts constantly threaten and tease and talk about assaulting you, about hurting you, about murdering you and your family. Raise your hand out there if an inmate has threatened to kill you and your family. Really? Only a couple of you? What am I speaking to, a bunch of fucking new boots? I know, you thought that this was because of video and you didn't think I could see you, that I would know if you didn't raise your hand. Come on, so fucking raise your hands. There you go. Have you shared that with them? Have you told her that last night, during your last round, the clown at the end of the tier threatened to call his homeboys and have him come rape and kill your little girl when you were at work because he knew when you worked, because he knew where you worked, because he had his sister Google your address? And that's the real reason that you posted his picture on the refrigerator and had a conversation with your kids about if they're playing outside and they see this guy or anyone who looks like this guy, that they're supposed to run inside and go and hide. Woo! Sorry, I had a little bit of a flashback there for a Have you talked to them about situational awareness and making sure that your house is a harder target than the neighbors? Remind them about all the lights that you always keep on, and the extra deadbolt that's on the front door, and the alarm system that they insisted on installing. Then gently interject, with all due respect, that your gear, your Glock, is just another layer of security and should be stored indoors. Well, still a no-go, huh? Well, shit. Okay, what else can I say? I guess I'm an example guy, so let's talk what ifs. What if you and your better half are relaxing, chilling and watching Netflix when you hear a noise, a crash, and maybe some breaking glass? You have to react. But your weapon, your means for defending yourself and your family, is out in the garage, in the trunk of your car, in your gym bag between your dirty underwear and the dirty Tupperware. Should you just shout "time out" into the darkness and run downstairs and retrieve your weapon? Do you think the intruders will allow you time to arm yourself to defend yourself before they do what they came there to do? Probably not. So this is where I get a little crazy and intense because I feel like this should be making sense. But if it isn't, if there are eye rolls, if there are condescending comments about your paranoia and the low probability of armed assassins breaking in and killing your entire family, let's provide a real-world example. And this is actually the story that I used back in the day when I was trying to convince Mama to let me start my own little armory. In July of 2007, there was a horrible home invasion in Cheshire, Connecticut. On that Sunday night, two monsters, no, not monsters because monsters aren't real. These were men, these were flesh and blood men. These were walking free on the street men. Anyways, they entered the home, attacked Dad with a bat, bound his two daughters to their beds, and then forced the mother to take one of them to the bank so she could withdraw some cash. But when they got back, this robbery turned into something a little more sinister. Sadistic. These two guys decided to rape the wife and the 11-year-old daughter and then, wait for it, set the place on fire. Now the dad escaped, but his wife and both of his daughters died. Now, I may have to do a separate video on this story because this is a good example of the clientele that correctional officers encounter and the way that dealing with these guys compromises our psychological health and our emotional well-being. Sorry, I got off into the weeds a little bit. If you're not familiar with the story, I'll post a link in the description below. But for me, showing the story to my wife was a green light for keeping guns in the house, for her learning how to shoot, for taking our safety and our security seriously. So I suggest you share the story with your spouse. Share your concerns. Share your very legitimate concerns with your spouse. Tell them about Thomas Clements and how the Colorado prison chief was assassinated by a former inmate posing as a pizza delivery guy on the doorstep of his home. Help them understand that the inmates know us, see us out in public, that their kids go to school with our kids, and that the world ain't that fucking big, and that you're just trying to do everything that you can do to protect your family. Tell them that you cannot compromise on this. Not this. Look, keeping your gear in the garage is silly. Making your spouse keep their gear, their weapons in the garage is silly. It's not secure. It's not smart. And whether your spouse is comfortable with it or not, this is now part of your world, your life together. Say sorry, Mama. Sorry, dude. I'll leave my dirty boots outside, but the rest of my gear is coming in here. Did you have to have this conversation? How did you approach it? What was the outcome? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little like icon. Subscribe and share this content with anyone and everyone that you think may be interested. And if you're looking for more correctional content, head on over to my Facebook page. I'll post a link in the description below so you know where to go. All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, hey, yeah, hey, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, 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 yeah, let's go.